This is how we roll. It's the Slating Rink. Building our bankroll. Thanks to the Slating Rink. Breaking down chalk, the way the golfers gawk. Join Chad every week with his DFS talk. He's turning game stacks into lots and lots of racks. And once you tune in, you will not go back. This is how we roll. It's the Slating Rink. This is how we roll.
Sorry about that. That was the wrong button. Hey, it is Chad Rank. Welcome to the Slating Rink here on Saturday, April 4th, 2026. We are going to talk the early 4-game slate, which was a 5-game slate, but then the Brewers-Royals games have been postponed yet again. It was a doubleheader today. I don't know if the evening game is going to happen, but it might. Oop, that's the wrong. It's not Chad Locks. It's the Slating Rink. I am just hitting the wrong buttons all over the place. So hopefully I have some better luck here with the slate. So I may come back later this evening with a talk about the evening slate, which there are 8 games on that one. There are a couple games today. One's going on right now. And I think there's another game at 2:10, but then there are 4 games for this slate. We have been pretty good on hitting with our starting pitching. However, we just haven't gotten the stacks completely right to really hit big. I have pretty much I play single entry like about a $5 during baseball season. And usually I get around doubling my money. So I win $10, occasionally, or I just like the other night I did not win. I had half my pitching worked out, and then I had a couple guys you needed, but I just didn't have the complete stack that I needed. So it just didn't hit. So hopefully today we'll be looking a little bit better there. So let's bring in this slate here. So looking at it, I've already got the pitchers in. I think these are the 2 that you want to hit for this slate. Because if you're looking at the slate, it's the Houston Athletics, Dodgers, Nationals, Orioles, Pirates, Padres, Red Sox. I think that Houston Athletics game is going to be high scoring. I don't like either pitcher there. Jake Irvin is not a good pitcher for Washington, and I try to stay away from most people against the Dodger lineup, even though it's a little bit weaker today because Hernandez is not in. There's some rain in that Baltimore-Pittsburgh game, but I don't really love either pitcher too well. I can see either one being one that you can use for the slate. And then I do like Connolly early today against the Padres. So Glasnow earlier, the 2 I'm gonna put in here. They're probably gonna be the 2 chalkiest ones. But I think you don't want to mess around with pitching on a small slate like this. I think you take the two most likely to get you there. I really, like I said, I do not really like anybody else. I mean, if you look at the whole slate, with the pitching, they're not like Baz and Amai are right around 7,900, 7,700. So you're only saving, $700 to $500 from early. So, you can make that up elsewhere. Morales against the Astros, I'm not on that. Vasquez might be the only other one that I would think because he's only 6,800. Boston has a lot of strikeouts in that lineup. So, and he looked good the other day against Detroit in his first outing, 8 Ks, 91 pitches. That is interesting. Because depending how you want to go, you could get off of early. And if you go Vasquez instead, that would save you. It saves you a decent amount. It saves you, what was it? It saves you $1,600, which is huge. I may do that. Vasquez earlier, they could have similar outings. So let's go that route. Let's go with Glasnow, Vasquez as the starting pitchers. And then what we're doing, we will slide up here. And there's really only three lineups that I do like. Obviously the Dodgers, and then I like this Astros-Athletics game. Those are the three I'm probably going to try to pull from. On a smaller slate, I do not mind if you go a little contrarian. And if you wanted to maybe throw in for the Padres, throw in the Padres or even Boston if you wanted to. I don't mind that to be a little bit contrarian, but I'm just going to stay with these three lineups and hopefully get the right combination for that. So let's dive into the lineups, how to build from here. I think the Dodgers scored a lot yesterday. I think that they have 14 runs yesterday. So I think we could maybe sprinkle in some Dodgers. You just don't know. Like sometimes I don't know any stats on it, but like if a team goes off, like the Braves scored 17 runs yesterday or 2 days ago, then they scored 2 yesterday. I mean, it's all different because depending who you face, pitcher wise, what your lineup looks like, that kind of thing. But it wouldn't if the Dodgers scored 10 or 11 today, it would not surprise me. If they scored 3 to 4, it wouldn't surprise me either. So I think I want to focus on the Astros-Athletics game. And I think I want to do an Astros stack with Athletics sprinkled in. So the ones let's focus on who I really want. I think I really want Nicholas Kurtz. I think he's due for a home run. He's leading off. Not really much of a pinch hit risk. And, Ohtani 6,500. I like Freeman. He's at 45, but, and Christian Walker's decent too. So, but I think if I'm going to take some A's, I think I want Nicholas Kurtz. And I think I know I definitely want Peña. If he's going to be in the lineup, I want Peña in. And then on the outfit, I think I want Rooker. I think those are the two. If I'm looking at two Athletics, I want those two. And then wouldn't mind throwing, I'm going to throw Stroderstrom in. So I think I want to go a 5-3, 5 Astros, 3 Athletics, just load up on that game and hope that game is a 10-9 home run fest. And then hope the Dodgers just don't get there. So that's kind of how I'm playing this one. So if then I'm going to go on the Astros side, oops, that was too far. Then you're looking at, we've got Peña. If we're looking at catcher, it'll probably be Diaz. Would be the one I would imagine would be there. And then you got second and short. You obviously have Altuve. Let's see what we can do. Like it may pinned out. Paredes is out, so I imagine Correa is going to end up playing third for them. Look in the outfield. Alvarez is always a play, but we can't get to him with this lineup. I don't know if Myers will be in. He's a righty. If they'll play him against the righty. I don't know who else they put in, except if they put Smith. They could put Loperfido in. I don't know. So it just depends. Like I wish the Astros lineup would be up. Is this pulling up on here? Like if I pull up MLB like RotoWire, they don't have. It's not updated yet. It just updated. So let's say Peña. This is the Astros lineup: Peña, Alvarez, Altuve, Carrera in the 4-hole, Walker, Loperfido, who I thought would be in against the righty, Diaz, DHing, Jake Myers is playing center, and then Christian Vasquez running out in the 9-hole. So they do have both Diaz and Vasquez in as well. So I I think if you go Loperfido in the outfield, it gives you 3,200 at catcher. You'd have to play Vasquez there. If you want, like, I don't mind that lineup. I would like to get Christian Walker in, but I really like Nicholas Kurtz in this lineup. I just think he's due. So I don't mind this lineup because if I look at it, how the lineup is, you got Kurtz, you got the 1, 3, 4 hitters for the Athletics. And then for Houston, you've kind of got a wrapper. You've got 1, 3, 4, 6, and 9. I would like to get in. Let's do a little bit of difference here. If we take Rooker or Soderstrom out, if we take Soderstrom out, throw Alvarez in, we gotta find $800 somewhere. So this could be the other thing. Like if you look at Glasnow, you know, he's good. I don't know. Like again, will they start limiting him? Because that's what the Dodgers do. Because if you want to pay down, like I'd like the Glasnow being in there, but I think he's going to probably be the most popular pitcher on this slate because the rest there's just not quality pitchers on this slate. So do you go away from him? If you look at what the Nationals have done, there's only been like really 3 players have had any kind of at bats against him. Jacob Young is 0 for 2. Luis Garcia is 1 for 3. CJ Abrams 2 for 3. So there's not data to say either or on that. But I don't know if we decide to go, if we wanted to get Alvarez in that lineup. I don't know where else because you're not saving 800, I don't think, on Walker. Well, you could if you decided you could throw Walker in. But then you got to pull somebody out like Altuve or Loperfido, because you have 6 Astros. You cannot have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 7 Astros actually, so I have to pull 2 out. So if we decided to go elsewhere at catcher, like if you want to throw Langoliers in, you can't get Langoliers in. So I still like to have 3 and 5. If you wanted to throw in like Will Smith, and you still gotta find money somewhere, which is the problem. Which you could if you wanted to throw in Jeff McNeil and go 4 or 5, just have 2 Astros. You go there. I still just like just load up on that game, and I'll see what I can do here. Maybe because that gives me the 1, 2, 3. That gives me the 5. If I go, I'd rather have Nicholas Kurtz in there. I don't know if I get Kurtz and Alvarez in. I think I could, because I could go Vasquez because it's 3,200 remaining. I could go Vasquez or Diaz. If I go Vasquez, that gives me 3,900 at second. What I could do is open it up to all the teams and see what that leaves me. There's not much there of anything. If you wanted to throw Freeland in to get a Dodger in, you could. I just like having. I don't mind doing McNeil though, to be honest with you. I just want to load up on this game. So it's the question of would I rather have Kurtz McNeil, Kurtz, or Walker Altuve for those 2. If I want Alvarez in, which I think if you're doing this, you got to have Alvarez in. You just have to, going up against a righty in this ballpark. And so that's a lineup I like. You have 800 remaining. If you wanted to move up off Loperfido, you could look and see, who else is there that you could get. Ozuna. You could find another bat outside of this game. Like you could get Pages if you want to get a Dodger bat, but it's kind of slim pickings though. It really is slim pickings. So I would rather just stay with Loperfido. Honestly, I mean, Ozuna's not a bad play because he's got that power. I think I stay with that. Just do the 800 difference. I still stay Glasnow in. Now, the one thing I want to look at, if we go away from Glasnow and we throw in early, that'll save us a little bit more. It's 1,500 more. We probably could get Altuve. No, we are just short by $100 on Altuve. But then again, we would have to slide off anyway. So if we get off Loperfido, we could do is put Soderstrom in and then just get, we could throw Cronenworth, even though he's going against one of the pitchers we have. We could go McNeil. We could go 4-4 if we wanted to at second and have 4 A's, 4 Athletics, getting Soderstrom in there. So there's a lot of ways you can go. I just love this game, like, is what I want to look at. And I think Alvarez, Peña, Correa are the keys to get in. And I just like having Kurtz in there. I don't mind McNeil, a lefty against the Houston righty. If we want to go 4-4, it would leave us $300 if we wanted to do that. We would not be able then to get back up to Glasnow. But if we put Glasnow in with McNeil, then we still got to save 400. Then we're back off of Soderstrom. And then like we were before, putting Loperfido in. Which I don't mind. I just know he could be a pinch hit risk, if I could talk. So there's so much you can do. If you just like, again, staying in this game is where I want to stay. I think I'd rather have Altuve in. I think give me Altuve, and then at I know Loperfido I can't get in at this moment. Where is he at? Is he at 33 or is he at? Where was he at? Maybe he may have been at 39. There he is. He's at 33. So there's that 800. So you have to be off Glasnow is what you'd end up having to do. Because I don't really want to move up any of those guys. I mean, you could get off Rooker if you wanted to. And then go with Butler instead of Rooker. I just think, like, Butler had a home run last night. I think Rooker's due. And then like I said, you got the 800 remaining. I think what I may do, I think I'm just going to go with the Boston San Diego game for my pitching. There's a lot of strikeouts in that Red Sox lineup. And I think Early is a good young pitcher. So I think that will go. I think that's what I will do. Early Vasquez, and then you're going. Oh, I have to pull off somebody here because I've got too many Astros, and I'd like to find somebody else. I still wish I could get another A in this lineup. It's just because I like going 5-3 rather than a 5-2-1, especially with a game like this. Muncy hit one out the other night. Langoliers, there's no way I'm going to be able to get him in a lineup. And then if you're looking at third, you have Muncy. Second, They're short Wilson, but I'm not keen on that. I don't think Clark's a good fit there. So that's trying to find a catcher. You're not finding one in this game. You're probably not going to find a quality one at 2,500. Yeah, it just depends on who Pittsburgh's going to start. You could get Furman. You know, I don't know. I got to play around with this because I think Altuve is the one to maybe go McNeil there. And again, then if I go 4-3, I can pay up a little bit on catcher if there's somebody I like, or I just go with Diaz, who I know is in that lineup. Over. Let's see. He has not homered yet. He has not been too bad. You got Diaz, and then you've got Vasquez. So yeah, that's what it looks like for this early slate. I think I'll go Vasquez at the 9 hole. Although it probably makes more sense to go Diaz because I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, 7 is what it would be. And have that instead of having that could have the wraparound with Vasquez. So I think this is going to be the lineup I will go with. I don't think I'm going to go in this pool because I just grabbed one. I can't remember what the cost of this one was, and I don't know if it's a single entry either. But I think that's going to be my lineup. I have no problem with going with the Dodgers. If you go with a contrarian lineup, I think I would probably, whichever one you'd rather go with, San Diego or Boston. I would probably take that lineup instead. If you're looking at it, you've got the Padres have Tatis, Loreno, Andujar, Machado, Bogarts, Furman, France, Cronenworth, Johnson, a bunch of righties there. And then with the Red Sox, you have Anthony Story, Duran, Contreras, Abreu, Durbin, Mayer, Navarez, and Rafaela. So again, I just don't like that as a thing because it's like 46 degrees, 14 miles an hour in. I'm stay away from that game. So I think that's it. I think those are the plays that you have to go for. So that is it. It's probably a little bit longer than I thought, but just kind of walk through some stuff on a smaller slate. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to stay away from the Dodgers. I think they're going to be the most popular. Just load up Astros-Athletics. I'm going 4-3 with the Astros and Athletics. No, I went 5-3. I went with Vasquez. So 5-3, Kurtz, McNeil, Rooker for the Athletics. And then it got Vasquez, Correa, Peña, Alvarez, Loperfido. Hopefully Loperfido gets about 8 fantasy points at least before he gets pinched hit for, which he might. But we'll see. But that's it. Thanks for watching. That was the Slating Rink. Hopefully be back later on this evening because I'll be back up this way at the studio. But it'll be more of a right before what they call live before lock, before the lineups lock on DK. So keep an eye out for that. I might come back in for that later slate. Again, hope it all goes well for you. Happy Easter. It is Easter tomorrow, and we will see you next time. Thanks again for tuning in to the Slating Rink.
This is how we roll. It's the Slating Rink.